Hello boxing fans, another good fight comes on February 9, 2013, in 2 weeks from now, when Zab Super Judah challenges Floyd Garcia for his WBA and WBC titles. Let's talk Garcia first. After some 120 fights as an amateur, he turned pro in 2007. And by now he got 25 professional fights, 16 of them he finished by way of knockout, and he has no losses. He bagged into his hunting knapsack a few prominent trophies like Kendall Holt, Nate Campbell, Eric Morales twice, and he dispatched Amir Khan as well. In his very prime now, with his skills and power, he is well poised to rule the entire talent-packed 140-pound division. Now, facing Judah, Garcia has the most serious test yet. Why? Because Judah is a lefty. Those of you familiar with boxing know that it takes a totally different set of skills to fight a lefty, especially such a good lefty with a punch as Judah. You make a mistake and he will take you out in a blink of an eye. The last time Garcia fought a decent lefty, it was 2 years ago, and it was Mike Arnautis. Garcia stopped Arnautis and knocked him out in round 4. Now, Judah. Those who appreciate boxing know real well who Zab Judah is. Out of total 51 fights, Judah won 42, and he has 7 losses, with 3 of them by way of KO. Judging by the numbers, we can say that Judah's career is quite remarkable, but given his great talent, his career should be and could be extraordinary, but it never did. So why Judah did not live up all the way to his full glory? Why he did not perform all the way up to his potential? Because, unfortunately, along with a great combo of his skills multiplied by the benefits of a lefty with a punch, Judah has a poor fighting spirit. What is a spirit of a fighter? It is a certain mental, emotional state of mind which governs all your activities in a fight, and particularly the level of your aggression, your focus, and that specific, I would say, feral awareness with which boxer must have to survive in a fracas in the ring. To perform at your top notch, your fighting spirit has to be balanced, real well balanced. Once in a ring, you got to be calm, cool, and collected at all times. Judah was known for his low spirit in the ring for too many times. In fact, his losses to Zhu, to Cotto, to Khan, and to others, including such lesser opponents like Carlos Baldomir, were due not because of lack of skills, but because of his far from perfect spirit. But given his talent, even with his imperfect spirit, at least half of those losses could end up being his victories if Judah had a decent corner. A boxer's cornerman can make or break his boxer's fight. It is another tragedy of boxing. Many boxers, including good ones, including those in the top of the world, have bad corners. Judah is one of them. I understand that Judah's father is a good trainer and he loves his son, no doubt. But he should never be in his son's corner in a fight. Some fathers are just good as cornermen when they are in the corners of their sons, but some are not so good. As an example of the best father's cornerman is the father of Garcia. One of the worst is the father of Zab Judah. You know, it is a psychological thing. It can be a terrible impediment. And it gets worse when the father gets overly emotional and he just messes up his son's performance in the ring. Later, Pernell Whitaker tried to lend some help, but he was not good either as a cornerman for Zab, because Zab is a very special kind of guy, you know, with a special psychological makeup. You have to know how, when, and what exactly words to tell Judah in order to motivate him and mobilize his fighting spirit to his full potential. Being a lefty himself, Whitaker would be a good counselor for Zab from the technical standpoint, but he was not so astute as a psychologist to bring Zab's performance to the better level. Unfortunately, I won't particularly mention one fight of Judah, his fight versus Floyd. Though the official decision says that Floyd won that fight, I do not think that Floyd really won that fight. All of you who has his own eyes to see could clearly see that Judah won the first, the second, the third, and the fourth rounds. At least 2 times Zab hurt Floyd, but he failed to follow up and knock him out right there in the first round. In the second round, Judah even knocked Floyd down, but that referee, Richard Steele, was so blind that he did not count the knockdown. Roger Mayweather was panicking in the corner of Floyd. Honest to God, if Judah had a decent cornerman, he would knock Floyd out by round 3. But it was Joel who, instead of giving clear instructions to Zab, was throwing his frantic, narcissistic fits in his son's face. You could see in Zab's face that he was in denial. His focus was shattered. Then Floyd regrouped and he won round 5 clearly. Round 6 was close, yet Judah was better. Rounds 6, 7, 8 and through 9 were give and take affairs which could go either way. But Joel, instead of giving Zab specific instructions, kept barking in his face, in the face of his son, that silly, "Let your hands go, let your hands go." Excuse me, which hand? When? Where? Slapping him in the face, that Judah was left with no choice but shaking off that nonsensical input of Joel by making those strange moves, with hands, and talking to Floyd instead of beating him. Those rounds were still a toss-up, but due to Judah's irrational behavior, they were given to Floyd. Then came round 10. Out of frustration, Judah landed a low blow. Anyone who was in the ring and was hit in the cup knows it does not feel good, but it is not that bad because the cup actually protects pretty well. But for Floyd, it was a terrific pretext to employ his acting skills pretending that he was about to die from pain, you know. Panicking since round 1, Roger jumped into the ring and created a havoc, during which Roger actually choked Judah into a brief unconsciousness. For those who do not know, I must tell you that choking, even the brief one, is equal to a knockout. The brain of a person is deprived of oxygen, and because disoriented, he became disoriented as if he was knocked out. And if the ring doctor would pay attention to that what happened to Judah, he would not miss to do his action. Referee Richard Steele should disqualify, of course, Floyd for his cornerman jumping into the ring. But being the worst referee as he was, he let the fight go. So round 11 and 12, Judah basically fought like he was after a knockout. Judah lost round 11, clearly. Amazing, but in round 12, he actually recovered and he actually won round 12, clearly. Yet, the dummy judges gave victory to Floyd. So now you know what happened in that fight, the most preposterous scam in the history of boxing. With all this, Floyd's record has 1 loss with Judah and a draw with Garcia, if you remember that fight. Anyway, it was very revealing also to watch Judah in his fight versus Khan in July 2011. Judah looked particularly miserable when he pretended that he was hurt below the belt. It was another testimony to his poor fighting spirit. It looked like he borrowed that poor acting trick from Floyd, which Floyd employed in fight against him. Bad idea. Vic Drakulich, the referee, is far better a referee to buy that nonsense. All in all, Zab does not live up to his nickname Super, unfortunately. It is really un-champion-like behavior to pretend that you are hurt below the belt when in reality you are hit with a perfect liver shot. A true champ does not do those dishonorable tricks. In his last fight in March 2012, when Judah fought Vernon Paris, Judah did pretty good, so it showed that he's in pretty decent shape. And it looked like in his corner he had his uncle, and they had a pretty good rapport. If his uncle comes into Judah's corner in his fight against Garcia, it might prove to be a very valuable asset for him. So, what does the fight versus Garcia means to Judah? It means a lot. If Judah beats Garcia, he will exonerate all his wrong moves and he will validate his entire career. Does Zab has the chance to beat Garcia? Yes, he has a chance of a puncher, but very, very slim. It can happen only if Garcia makes some major mistake, which is not likely. Or if Zab will manage to inflict Garcia with some serious injury, like a bad cut or something, which will make a referee to stop the fight. Now, what Garcia has to do to win? Well, if I was Garcia, I would put lots of pressure on Judah from the very beginning and make him backpedaling all the way, because Judah cannot fight when he moves backward. I would cut his corners every time when Judah goes left or right, and I would control the distance with choppy jabs. Time him and counter him with those devastating hooks at the time when Judah is in the most vulnerable position. I think Garcia can win this fight by stopping Judah somewhere between rounds 5 and 7. Peace.